Hi guys, Mark here, hope you're all well today. Well, we're here again at Crescent Honda here in the south of England, and today we're trying out the 2021 Honda NC750X. Stay tuned and I'll give you my thoughts on it. Well, welcome along guys today to review on the 2021 Honda NC750X. This is the DCT model, dual clutch transmission, kindly loaned to me by the guys at Crescent Honda here in the south of England. So we just run through the specifications on this incredible all-round jack of all trades motorbike. These are coming in at £8,289, 8289 for the DCT model, which I think is very good value. And even better, the manual version is coming in at £7,459. So for this year they've increased the power to 57 horsepower at 6,750 RPM. Torque 69 Newton meters at a really nice low 4,750 RPM. These are also A2 compatible for new riders. Well, they can be made A2, sorry. New for this year, we've got a lower seat, 800mm, which is 30mm lower than last year's model. Just have a look at me on the bike, just to see how I fit on it. I'll put a cutscene in for you, and bear in mind I'm 5'7" with a 30-inch inside leg. So also for this year we've got a 6 kilogram weight loss. It's 224 kilograms for the DCT and 214 kilograms for the manual. They've done some magic with the engine as well. They've sort of shortened the first 3 gears to give it more acceleration, and they've made gears 4, 5 and 6 taller to give it even more relaxed cruising. Got a 14-litre fuel tank on these, so the fuel tank on these is under the rear passenger seat. So there you go, just under there. And the star of the show on these bikes is the front trunk, or frunk as it's called. Check this out. It's been increased for size this year by about a litre, so you can easily fit a full face helmet in there and all sorts of kit. So very, very handy storage area. Just have a look at that. Very handy indeed. So these are very, very economical, getting at about 80 to the gallon UK, and I've heard some riders can even get 90 to the gallon out of these. So you should have well over 200-mile range out of these. Tyres, got a 120 on the front and a 160 on the rear, 17-inch wheels, and these are Dunlop Trail Max tyres. It's a kind of a dual purpose tyre. These came first out in about 2014, I believe. There's been a few model changes over the years. 8,000 mile service intervals on these. Fantastic reliability record. Obviously Honda build quality. Single disc on the front, ABS is standard. Got a redesigned screen for this year. Got 4 riding modes as well. Got standard, sport, rain and a user definable one. We'll look into those later on, see how they affect the performance. So rear hazards come on under very heavy braking. It's quite a nice safety feature. LEDs all round. And there's lots of accessories you can get for this. You can get a travel pack, adventure pack, urban pack, heated grips, taller screen, rear top box, all that sort of stuff. And these come in blue, red and black. Very nice bike, really a good jack of all trades. Let's have a little look at the dash. So LCD dash showing everything you need to see. Got a convenient handbrake because obviously you can't leave this bike in gear. Alright guys, without further ado, let's go for a test ride. Okay, test ride time. Honda NC750. So the first thing you notice, guys, when you sit aboard is very, very comfortable, lovely, wide, quite firm but comfortable seat, if that makes sense. Very supportive, lots of room, wide bars, a bit wider than I thought, more sort of adventure style. I mean, I guess this is sort of like an adventure style bike really, with its sort of semi-knobbly tyres. Very, very small screen. We'll see how that works at highway speeds later on. So let's look at that dash. LCD, lots of information in there. Fuel gauge, clock, gear indicator, what riding mode you're in. I'm in standard at the moment. Speedo, miles per gallon, and total odometer and trips all over here. You've got all your high and low beams, select, mode, horn, turn. You've got your minus and your plus for your manual gear shifting. Obviously no clutch on this. Start, and you've got your neutral, drive and auto and manual modes. So fire it into life. Instantly greeted with that lovely parallel twin 745cc, and it's a 270-degree crank on this, giving a almost V-twin kind of feel. Sounds really, really nice. So we just hit the button here for D. So we're into gear now, so it's not going to go until I give it the gas, so away we go. Very, very nice pulling away, automatic clutch doing a lovely job. Okay, so we're just going to come into an urban town environment now, just to see how this DCT transmission handles that. See what sort of gear it puts it into and see how smooth it is. So we're currently doing 30 miles an hour. It's put it into third gear, 2,500 revs. Obviously you do have manual override on the buttons on the left here, but this is just nice. Third gear, 30 miles an hour, feels just right to me. Super smooth engine, just that lovely kind of pulse and throb that you get from a 270-degree crank. Feels like a V-twin, to be honest. Lovely. Yeah, very, very nice. So this is coming in at around about the 220-ish kilo mark, and it feels very, very light actually. The weight's nicely balanced, bars are wide. It's got a very nice upright riding position. So obviously coming to a stop now. Automatically it's put it down into first. Just going up through the gearbox again, changing gear nice and early. It's changing gear at about 3,000 revs because I'm only partial throttle. I think in sport mode, if you give it full throttle, it holds on to the revs a bit longer. We'll try that later on. So it's just coming down to 30 again, dropped it down to third. Yeah, it all seems very seamless. Down to second now, automatically into second. Very, very easy and slick, just winding through this sort of town environment. Lovely bit of leverage on the bars actually, lots of control. I think this would be good for filtering and going through traffic if you were using it for commuting. Put a top box on the back and that would be great, and you've got this amazing front storage area which is extremely handy. So it's still holding it in third gear, 30 miles an hour. There's no sort of hunting or surging in the throttle. It's got good response on that very, very torquey 750cc engine. So yeah, dropped it down to second now, slowing down. It's going to hold it in second over this roundabout. Ah, it's lovely. from closed throttle to open throttle. There's no sort of sudden snatch or anything like that. Straight into third. Yeah, very, very smooth that was back there. I must admit, I'm a bit of a convert to this DCT. This is the third one now I've tried out. I tried this Forza 750 and the Rebel 1100, and I'm really into it, on these sort of relaxing style sort of touring bikes. So guys, I'll catch you all again in a minute on the open road, but yeah, 5 stars for the NC750 DCT around town. Okay then guys, so we're just coming out onto the open road into the countryside now on the NC750X. It's coming up to a nice cruising speed, so we're in auto mode at the moment on the DCT. If you've never tried DCT before, I must admit it's an absolute revelation. I'm really into it now. On these sort of touring style bikes, it really does work. It's good. So up to 55 mile an hour, we're in sport mode at the moment, and it's holding it in 5th gear, just over 3,000 revs. So a very kind of relaxing, lolloping engine, this one, built for economy and mid-range torque. Forget about high revs and that sort of thing. It doesn't work with this bike. You need to ride it between about 3 and 5 is the sweet spot. So sport mode holds on to the gears the longest, and when you're slowing down it holds on to the higher gears, and it's got good response. Standard mode is a bit less power, a bit more sort of lazy throttle response, and it changes gear a bit earlier. And rain mode is lower power, very lazy throttle response, and it really does change gear early. So that's kind of how DCT works. At any time in auto, like I'm in 4th now, if I press the minus button here, it puts it down to 3rd, 4th down to 3rd, but then it will just kind of go back and revert to auto. So if I hit the A and the M button over here, that's now in manual mode. So I've got full control on the paddles on the left here. So 3rd gear, hit the button, 4th gear, hit the button, 5th gear. So you've got the best of both worlds. So just try a brake test now. Full brakes, very strong, very good for a single disc. So full throttle, 3rd gear. Yeah, it changes gear just below 6,000 RPM in sport mode. In your other modes it changes a bit sooner. Back brake, yeah, it's got a good bit of bite there, lovely. So mirrors are excellent, pretty much a 90% view of the road behind me, tiny bit of my shoulders, so lovely mirrors. Screen to me is a bit small, it's doing an okay job, not really any complaints, but for me personally I'd like something a little bit higher and a little bit wider. I'm sure there's a Honda optional taller screen you can buy, and also from other manufacturers. Screen's non-adjustable, LCD screen is really clear, you can see all the info, gear, modes, speedometer, everything very nice. Currently showing 77 to a gallon from this extremely economical 745cc parallel twin. Now riding position, seat comfort, legs, first class. I've been on this bike for over an hour now, not a hint of numbum. It's a very nice seat, very roomy, just a nice amount of firmness. Perfect, I would say, for long distance riding. Bars are really wide, lots of leverage. Leg position is slightly back, not at all sporty though, nicely into the tank. All in all, very roomy position for the legs. So I'm just going to drop it down the gears now using the manual down to 4th for this corner. Yeah, it feels great round the bends. Very nice. So riding position is lovely. The suspension is actually better than you would think. You know, it looks a basic suspension setup and you'd sort of think, oh, not that good, but in actual fact it's totally the opposite. It's really good. It's plush. You know, I've hit some nasty bumps today without any issues whatsoever. So yeah, 5 stars for the suspension. Preload adjustable on the rear, non-adjustable on the front by the look of it, and they are Showa front forks. But just cruising along at this, guys, it's just like doing 3,000 RPM. It's such a relaxing engine. You can definitely see what all the fuss is about on this. So we're just accelerating onto a slipway. Yeah, picks up speed very quickly. I mean, it's 57 horsepower, but it's more about the torque with this engine. It's all about that sort of mid-range. It's very strong. It's a very useful amount of power. It's not mind-blowing, it's not super exciting, it's just nice amount of power and does what it says. So vibration wise, what vibration? There isn't really any. It's super smooth. All you could feel is just that, like a throb and a beat from that engine. It's just very soulful. There isn't any nasty like buzziness or, you know, just buzzing through the bars or the pegs. We'll go up to a bit more higher speed in a minute on the motorway, but so far no nasty vibrations at all. Okay, so we're just going to come onto a motorway now just to try some higher speed cruising on the NC750X. So we're still in sport mode, auto. It's got plenty of acceleration getting up to speed, no complaints there whatsoever. 4,000 revs at the moment, just blending in. Very, very smooth engine, no vibrations at all. Thank you very much. Okay, so 60 mile an hour at the moment, guys. 5th gear, it's holding it in. 4,000 RPM now. Right, it's just gone into 6th gear, automatic, in sport mode, and we're turning over at just under 4,000 RPM at cruising speed, so that is excellent. And there is no vibrations whatsoever. Super smooth through the bars and the pegs. So I'm getting a bit of noise and wind blast on my helmet. Nothing too bad, it's more kind of on my shoulders. I'm feeling a bit of wind blast, but hey, you know, we're moving along here quite fast. So for me, I definitely would like a bigger screen on this. But at this sort of speed, guys, unbelievably relaxing. First class as a touring bike, this is. So just under 70 now, and it's still holding it in 6th gear at a mere just over 3,000 RPM. And we're just approaching 80 miles to the gallon. Right, let's just slow this down a bit. See if it drops it down a gear. Yeah, so we're down to 60 now, and it's dropped it down to 5th. So I'm just going to manually override now down to 4th, wide open throttle, there's your 60, and back up to 70 very quickly. So yeah, it's got plenty of go, guys. To be honest, the bike is a lot better than you'd think, you know. With 55 horsepower, 57 horsepower, it wouldn't be enough, but it does seem to be plenty for this sort of style of riding. So there you go, guys. Honda NC750 is very, very relaxing at higher cruising speeds, no vibrations, first class. Okay then, let's wrap this up and have a final thoughts and a little walk around. What an absolutely fantastic bike. I can see what all the fuss is about now with these. They really are a great all-rounder. So we'll just put it into neutral. Just give it a little rev for you. Very nice sound. Parallel twin 270-degree crank. Another little look at that screen for you. Lovely. Let's try this handbrake out. Very convenient. Just pull it back. So that's now on. Pull it back, push the button to take it off. So that's very handy. Side stand, we'll just take that off to push it around. So guys, we'll just see what this is like to push around. Oh, that's really easy actually. I thought that would be harder. It's quite a weighty machine at about 220 kilos, so that's easy in your garage. So guys, very impressed with the NC750X. You know, if you're looking for an all-round bike, a jack of all trades that's super reliable, you know, very practical, extremely economical, definitely give one of these a look. You know, you could do some great touring on this. I'm very, very impressed with its high-speed, you know, low-revving engine. You know, when you're doing sort of like 70, it's only sort of turning over like 3,500–4,000 revs. It's very, very efficient. So there's the front view of it. Very good tyres, those. Quite impressed with those. Single disc, but plenty of power. Superb DCT engine. I think I was told by the salesman that most of these that are sold are the DCT model. They're very, very popular. Fantastic storage. Let's have a look at that again, shall we? Just in case you missed it at the beginning. This is called the frunk, so it stands for the front trunk. If you can see in there, but that is a big area. Also, it looks like you can get to the battery and things in there. And then the rear, obviously for the fuel. Just walking around. And I mean, for basic suspension, just preload adjustable on the rear, shower forks on the front. The suspension is better than you would think. You know, it's got a very, very nice plush ride. Well, there you go, guys. Honda NC750. Been out for quite a few years. Have you got one? What are your thoughts? Been reliable? Are you going to get one? Yeah, definitely if you want an all-round practical workhorse bike that's really nice to ride, fun, handles nicely, definitely give one of these a look. Well priced as well. Alright guys, well please give me a thumbs up as always. Share and subscribe to my channel, and then there'll be another review in another week or two. All the best guys, ride safe. Bye bye.